Good afternoon, Kev.
Afternoon. We're gonna pick up kind of where we left off the other day, because I feel like we were getting into something really good.
Yeah.
You were talking about the keys. You said there are like keys to the kingdom. We're not one of those churches that's going to be like the 7 keys to the kingdom and then try to come up with 7 things so that it can sound a little bit more spiritual. That's not what we're about.
Well, Jesus said, "I'm going to give you the keys,"
Yeah.
and there are things that unlock things.
Yeah.
And there are truths that,
We'll take you deeper.
yeah, and some things are easy.
Yeah.
In the kingdom, loving people that love you. Jesus said, "What thank have you for that?" That's easy.
Yeah.
Sinners can do that.
Sinners can do it.
Yeah, but loving those who persecute you, say all manner
Yep.
against you, that's where it gets. There are things that are more difficult, but it's in Philippians. We were talking about that where Paul writes and says, "I want to know you in the power of the resurrection." Then it says that I may know you also in the fellowship
of his
suffering. We all want the power. I mean, who don't want to pray for someone that's sick or blind,
Right.
and God open their eyes, or they get out of a wheelchair and walk? Come on, who doesn't want to see that?
Right.
But then he goes on and says, not just that. He says, but that I might know him in the fellowship of his suffering.
Yes.
And I believe that the reason why we don't see a lot of the power is because that kind of goes to people's heads, and you got to have character to maintain the anointing.
Yep.
And the reason we see sometimes guys spring up that God starts using, going, all right, this guy's being used by God. It's pretty. But next thing you know, he's fallen with somebody. He's in trouble. He's run off with a secretary, or he's in it for the money and all.
Yep.
Like,
all of a sudden, there's missing money, and
it's like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
Because he didn't have. Because if you want part one, if you want to know the power of the resurrection, but if you don't fellowship with the suffering,
yeah,
the suffering's what seasons you so you can handle. So when all that stuff comes, it doesn't go to your head.
right.
You remember, and not just the lean times, but you remember that some of my most intimate times with the Lord were in some of my darkest places, as far as persecution.
Yep.
In valleys. Yea, though I walk through the valley, I will fear no evil. Thou art with me. Your rod and staff, they comfort me. Not on the mountaintops. Man, everybody on the mountaintops, you just came back from Iceland.
Yeah.
And the mountaintops are awesome.
Yeah. Northern Lights, awesome.
The view from up there is always amazing. Anytime you're on a mountain, the views, it's getting to the top of the mountain that's hard. But we live in the age of ski lifts and trams that can take you up there without effort.
Convenience.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think you were hitting on it at the end of the last episode. You were like, we need to pick this up because there's more to unpack. Like you said, there's keys to the kingdom, and these keys unlock something. And you were talking about Philippians 3:10. It says, the fellowship of his suffering, being made conformable unto his death. That Greek word for conformable means a transformative, ever-changing manifestation of the glory of God, even unto his death. When we see people that chase the glory through the power of the resurrection, but they haven't actually fellowshipped his suffering, well, then they won't keep growing. They won't, you know what I mean? We'll see times where God will show up and his glory fall, and people get healed, and we've talked about that before. That just means that God is merciful. That doesn't mean that you as the individual are trusted by God. That just means God, he's used a donkey, he's used a rooster, please don't make us go down the list again of things that we would say, that's ridiculous. So for you to be like, oh, well, the glory of God through the power of his resurrection. Well, that's great. That's that follows believers, healing, casting out demons, these things. But the fellowship of his suffering is the thing that kicks into that being made conformable, transforming, carrying, like being made even more into the image and glory of God, even unto death.
It's crazy, Kev, because in Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Some of the guys, they look like rock stars. They have their own security. They there's always a camera on them with everything they're doing. And so Jesus was opposite.
Yeah.
He healed people and say, shh, don't tell nobody. Go offer to the priest what Moses said do.
Yeah.
But don't go spread this around. The opposite. That word,
He didn't stop artists and be like, hey, can you get a rendering of me laying hands on the, and just, and just some artists sketch it up, to make sure you can make some posters.
Follow them around. I can't even get my prayers in today because I have so many people taking my picture. It's that word transform. It's the word metamorpho.
Yeah.
And we get the word metamorphosis. I always think of it like this. We start off like a worm, that little caterpillar. Just a caterpillar is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Birds, I mean, it's not like Speed Racer. It's like that's a cartoon with the little snail that's really fast.
Yeah.
No, snails are slow, and so are caterpillars.
Yeah.
But you go from one state of being. We're trying to become like Jesus. That's always the goal. Be like Jesus.
Yep.
And not just be like him, do it the way he does it. We got people that do deliverance, so I'm not happy about it because the way they do it, sometimes they traumatize people in the midst of trying to get them delivered. They don't do it the Jesus way.
Yeah.
But it's that suffering is when that caterpillar goes up there, it spins that little cocoon.
Yep.
And now it's vulnerable. Now it's just a meal.
And it's subdued. It's not.
It can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
When you're going through the valley of the shadow of, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
When you're being persecuted, and sometimes Paul says, even by false brethren.
Yeah.
He called them brethren, but he said false brethren.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you told me about that guy in Tennessee that came into a disagreement with the way they were trying to minister at the church.
They wanted to hire,
some liberal kind of stuff. And he said, I don't feel like the Lord, that's scriptural.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, you don't have to come here if you don't want to. So
you don't have to leave. You don't have to pastor.
So he left and went down the road and started a church. And then he gets a letter from an attorney that says,
cease and desist.
Yeah. And he goes, what's this about? He said, you signed a paperwork that said you
non-compete.
That is the world. I mean, how's that going to stand on? Hopefully, hopefully he went further down the road, and got out of their jurisdiction, whatever. Because that is so horrible.
Yeah,
that you would pressure a nut that we don't. The harvests are right, the laborers are few, and you're trying to shut down the laborers.
Yeah.
And I know it's true that what you're telling me. I know you're not making that up.
Yeah.
But this idea of people trying to disqualify, I remember a guy one time when I got divorced. One guy, a pastor in town, came to me and said, if my wife ever left me, that's my ticket out of the ministry. And I looked at him and said, I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't.
Yeah.
The gifts and callings of God are irrevocable.
Yeah.
I married my first wife twice. It wasn't like I didn't try.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't meant to be. We did not have the tools back then to fix some of the things that were going wrong with it. But I learned from it, and we've kept divorce out of this church for decades, 40 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously he's not through with us, but there are people that just, it's that pride.
Yeah.
We don't want the competition. It's like, you don't think there's enough lost people
for us to both have
to go around? We're nowhere even close to having reaching the harvest and you're trying to disqualify and get. That's why I have trouble when I find people that are saying, these are 15 pastors you should never listen to. Paul. We're going to get a little nervy today.
Yeah.
I feel like we're about to step on some. Paul said some preach for vainglory, some preach for filthy lucre. Some it's about the money.
Yeah.
But then he goes on and says, and some preach just to add affliction to me. They're preaching to make it harder on me. Those cease and desist orders and stuff, they're making it harder on me.
Yeah.
He said, but they're preaching Christ.
Yeah.
They're not preaching.
Rejoice that they're preaching Christ.
They're not preaching. They're not praising Muhammad.
Yeah.
They're not praising Buddha.
Yeah.
Krishna. Some. We can go down the list of all the others. He said, but they're preaching Christ.
Yeah.
He said, so rejoice. And that should be all of our. But this idea, back to this. What takes guys out of the race is they don't get, I like our definition of fellowship, is two fellas in a ship.
Yeah.
You got to get in the boat with Jesus.
Yeah.
And when he starts rowing out across the lake, if he goes to a certain part of the boat and falls asleep and a storm comes up, you're still in the boat with Jesus. Yeah. All you got to do is look down there and see him sleeping. You're going to get to the other side.
Yeah.
But what happened in Mark when he said, we're going to go to the other side. I'm tired. I just got through ministering. I'm going to go take a nap.
Yep.
And off they went. And they get out there and a storm comes up and they think they're going to drown. They think the boat's going to sink. And they go and wake up Jesus. Jesus was sleeping.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't to the point where it was filling up with water, but they got a hold of him. And he comes out and says, shaking his head, and he
shuts down the storm.
Yeah, and what does he call it? He says, peace.
Yeah.
Be still. He didn't say,
mighty storm.
Hurricane Camille, chill out. He says, peace. He calls those things that be not as though it were. He told the peace. There was peace in somewhere in that storm. There's stuff in the way. The wind and the water was kind of in the way, but there's always peace. No matter what you're going through, because he is the Prince of Peace.
Well, and then he turns and kind of convicts his disciples, say, didn't I say we'd make it across? Didn't I say we'd get to the other side? So that's the thing I think that you were hitting on at the end of the last episode that you were like, let's unpack this more. The fellowship of his suffering. There's lots of people that encounter his suffering. I think we were talking before, it's like bumping in the hallway, like, oops, sorry, suffering. Ooh, glad I didn't stop to talk to that guy, right? We're like hoping that that's not a match, where God's like, no, I'm trying to line you guys up. You're like, please, no, please. But it says the fellowship of his suffering. That means that there's going to be a season. This isn't going to be a trial. A trial is like, boom, you passed, move on, right? That's a trial. But when he says suffering, when you're fellowshipping suffering, that means that it's going to be ongoing, right? That means that it's going to be something that you're going to be in for a little while. And the fellowship of that, well, what does that fellowship look like? Well, it doesn't look like murmuring and complaining. Doesn't look like the disciples waking up, Jesus, we're all going to die. You know? The way that you respond, Charles Swindoll's name, right? You had kind of turned me on to him last time before the episode we were talking, and he has a book called "Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it." I was like, man, that's a good one. Yeah. But that's just it. It's 10% what happens to you, because what happens to you pretty much happens to us all. We have all things common.
Right.
90% is going to be how are you reacting to it. You're gonna fellowship. Not everyone. I take that back. Not everyone's going to fellowship his suffering, because some are going to run from it. Some are never going to step. The boat's going to be right there, and Jesus is going to be like, "Come on, this is the part we fellowship. It's going to work a greater glory in you, but you got to get in the boat." And we don't. We stay on the shoreline and we go, I'll take the power of your resurrection. I'll take it. And it's like, okay, well then you're the 70. You're the ones that you love the power. You loved everything, the gifts and stuff that came with it. But when it came to the cost of loving people, when it came to the cost of losing relationships to gain other relationships, you fled. You said, eat your flesh, drink your blood. It's kind of weird. I'll just take the casting out demons, thanks, Jesus, and then walk away.
We were talking prior to this episode, as was kind of prepping for it. There's a woman named Mother Teresa. When I say Mother Teresa, everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, all around the world.
Yeah.
And just to tell you how weird some people are, I heard a guy one time say to me, "You think Mother Teresa was saved? You know, she was Catholic." And it's like, dude,
My God.
when people make statements like that, you do not understand Jesus.
Yeah.
Who is Mother Teresa and why is she famous? How did she even get in the ministry? She was a nun. She was not a very high-ranking nun. She was just
Not a cardinal.
no, she was just a nun, and she was on a train one time, and she looked out there and saw people that had leprosy, and they were just laying on the side of the road and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when she came back up from this trip, she went to one town. Then when came back, she noticed that certain people that were sitting there last time she came through, they weren't there, and she investigated what happened to the man that was here, and someone said, "Oh, he died." And she realized that these people were basically just waiting
Dying
to
out,
die.
yeah.
And so she goes and asks her people over her that she's under if she could get a building,
Yeah.
and she could take these leprous people that nobody wants to minister to,
Yeah.
and if she could get some cots and things and just give them a place where they can die with dignity.
Yeah.
That's really the dying with dignity. That was the crux.
Yeah, she wasn't even trying to get them, like, can we get them back in the city limits? Can we find a way, maybe we can put them up in the center of town and really teach people how to love better? No. She, like you said, die with dignity.
It's all about them.
Yeah.
Just a place where it's quiet, where
Yep.
they're not out there in front of all these people and stuff, where they can die with dignity. And she actually got persecuted by.
Yeah.
It took a lot.
She wrote letters with her typewriter.
This didn't happen overnight. If you've ever heard her testimony, it's pretty powerful. And then she finally got this facility, and she got to do this, and so she starts bringing in the lepers that nobody wants to minister to.
Yeah.
Why? Because leprosy is a disease that rots your flesh, and you smell.
It's necrotic, yeah.
It's like
It's death.
it's
Death
like-
has a smell.
Yeah, any kind of dead animal carcass, whatever, it has a stench to it that's second to none. I mean, it's bad. So it's right off the bat, she's wanting to give people dignity that most people can't even be around without hurling. And there's this one. I'm just telling this story because you've heard it, but it'd be beneficial to the people listening. This one nun that's working with her, she goes to Mother Teresa and says, "I'm having a hard time. I've thrown up twice. I'm trying to help clean this guy's sores and clean his wounds, and I can't get past the smell." So Mother Teresa goes over there and she takes a pair of tweezers and she starts picking maggots off this guy's wounds. I mean, but she takes a napkin and wraps it around her face to kind of help with the smell.
Yeah.
And then the nurse says, "Okay, I can see that helps, but how do you deal with it? I mean, just you're picking maggots off the." And this is what she said. Mother Teresa said, "I just pretend I'm cleansing the wounds of Jesus." Now, this is a woman that her name, I don't even know her last name.
Yeah. But her name is like synonymous with grace and mercy and patience. And people would say, "Who are you, Mother Teresa?" Like, as if you're like, oh, you're just some saint. You're some untouchable person.
Don't even know her. She has a last name. I just know what it is. But she's known as Mother Teresa. And Lord have mercy, she won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
$100,000 prize. She She ran her ministry with a manual typewriter
Yep.
and a wall attached phone, not
Yeah.
computers, not all, but she's known around the world. This is what the meat of what I want to unpack. How did she get so famous without using her selfies and stuff like that? That was before selfies, anyways. But people do the opposite of what she does. People are constantly promoting themselves.
Yeah.
She didn't promote herself. She said she got permission. Can I go help people die with dignity? I like our ministry. I like what we do. I like this kind of dialogue because we're trying to help people come into maturity, but the right way.
Yeah.
We're not trying to build somebody's ministry. We're not trying to build ours.
No.
We're just trying to instruct and teach people. I show you a more excellent way. The excellent way is not how many likes you have, how many people, subscribers you have, and all this. It's not about numbers.
Right.
It's about the heart. She put the hearts of people first and seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all these things. Promotion comes from the Lord.
Yeah.
The Lord promoted her and made her a household word, and I'm sure that she's highly rewarded in heaven. But she didn't seek it. See, Jesus said, if you seek to save it, you lose it.
Right.
But if you can give it up, if you can not seek it, then you can keep it to life and life eternal. He was talking about the soul. You don't seek to promote yourself. We die. That's what in Philippians Paul says.
Yeah.
I die daily. You have to die to this stuff. See, because when you're dead, nothing affects you. And when it says being conformable unto his death, we're supposed to be killing our reputation, killing that self-promotion.
Well, because the more we decrease, then he increases.
That's
the more we kill off these things in ourselves. And that's what the suffering does. That suffering is that constant reminder that it's not about you. You know what I mean? That you're not greater than the master. They hated him. They're going to hate you. You know what I mean? And so for us to fellowship his suffering, I really want to make sure people understand what that means. Like going through that suffering, stepping into that boat, knowing I'm going to get to the other side of this, but I'm going somewhere. The suffering isn't like, it's not a rest stop on the road trip, to heaven.
It's the road.
It is the road. It is the thing that it is necessary to cross this. And if you don't, then you're going to kind of be like handicapped in your maturity and in your growth, because you're always, it always kills me when people talk about their suffering. You get a pastor who's all about prosperity. All of their suffering is financial. Yeah, there was a time where money was tight in the ministry and this and that, and I wasn't sure how we were going to get a paycheck, but we got one because the Lord provided, because the Lord did that. And it was like, okay, great. Now, what other areas have you suffered in? They won't tell you, because financial suffering is the only, because and this, we've talked about this before, because a lot of those pastors talk about their sins and their past and everything as being way back when. You know what I mean? Now that I live in Christ Jesus, everything's peachy and perfect except for finances. I get tested on those. You'll get tested on those, but you got to sow, you got to give. And it's like, but see, for you and me, we have gone through things and seen things in the church where there has been some suffering. There's been times where it's like you get in the boat and you're like, Lord, I really don't want to cross this. Like you said, I would rather be anywhere but here right now, But knowing that it's like, but on the other side, there's a greater glory that's going to get revealed. On the other side, it's going to work something in your character, that patience as that perfect work, that maturity, that then is going to produce more life to other people if you could go through it.
It's not hypothetical.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning, somebody knocked on my door at 6 o'clock in the morning, handed me a poster with my picture on it and 2 paragraphs of just ungodly, horrible things.
Yeah.
And it was put out all over town, over 1,000 posters, all down Main Street, up to, it's persecution.
Yeah.
I spent hours taken those things down. Did I want to leave? Absolutely. See, the key to this thing, you said a minute ago, is it's the road. It's going somewhere. Jesus is on the road with you, but you have to go through it. I even that day I asked the Lord, can I leave? Do I have to stay here? Everybody that's written any book about church splits and stuff like that, they all say, move. Once your reputation is gone, you can never recover, and God can't use you. And it's like, you know what? That's a lie.
Yeah.
So we do things different,
Yeah.
you know, because when you're under the rule of the king, if the king says stay, you stay.
Yep.
And I stayed. And I had people years later, years later, not months later, years later, say, I'm so glad you stayed.
Yeah.
Because I know you wanted to leave. It had been hard. It's just because there was some horrible things said in that thing.
Yeah.
But it was like, Jesus said, but he made himself of no reputation. Did they say things about Jesus that weren't true?
Yeah.
You're a wine bibber.
Yeah.
You're a drunk.
Yeah.
You'd be born
You're the
of
prince of demons. That's why you can get rid of demons.
Beelzebub.
Yeah.
Prince of devils lives in you. That's why you cast out a demon. We're Abraham's seed. We're not born of fornication. They just called him illegitimate. I mean, he was called all kinds of things, but he stayed.
Yeah.
Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Oh my goodness. I mean, it's like, but you don't run from it.
Yeah.
And boy, I just feel the Spirit of God stirring on this. If it's fellowship,
Yeah.
you went through this last one. Well, you've been with me ever since you was a kid.
Yeah,
But,
1980.
yeah, so I'm just saying, but
Or 1990, yeah.
this last split in 2010, you was real instrumental by God to help get me out of that funk and that hurt. Because I want to tell you something about suffering, people. It's called suffering. It's not called joy unspeakable and full of glory. You know, you don't have to pray about going through that.
Well, and through that, you know, you had to face the criticism and judgment and really just hatefulness of this group of people in going through that. But that wasn't where the suffering ended. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, well, okay, glad they're gone. It's like that suffering lingered for a while. That season, that boat didn't stop. Like, oh, okay, good, glad they're gone. They said some mean things. It was 3 nights, 3 meetings over 3 weeks. Whew, glad that's over with. There were things that you carried with you for a while.
Financially, it was a stress.
Yeah.
Affected my children.
Yep.
Affected their relationship with the Lord. It had long-reaching.
Yeah.
That reaping effects.
Yeah.
But here we are today, and life is good. But you say, would you go through it? Are you glad you went through it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when the disciples said, Jesus said, except you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you got no part with me. And it says, and many of the disciples.
Yeah. The 70.
Didn't say the Pharisees. It said many of the disciples left and walked with him no more.
Yeah, because Pharisees weren't walking with him.
No. But he turns to his disciples and said, you gonna leave too? And Peter says, you have the words of eternal. Where are you going to go? There has to be that place, that defining moment in your life where you go, he is the Christ. He is the Son. Flesh and blood has not revealed this. You got to get that personal revelation. Who do men say that I am? You're the Christ.
Yeah.
You're the Son of the living God. And when Jesus says flesh and blood, your parents, your Sunday school teacher, no one's revealed this. My Father revealed.
Yeah.
You have to have, once you get that and you settle in your heart that Jesus is the Messiah, he is the Christ, he's the anointed one. And you can just go down all the names and he is the bright morning star. He is the lily of the valley. He's the rose of Sharon. He's he's the lion of, you can just go down the list. But if he's not all that to you, when persecution and trials come, you'll do like those early disciples.
Yeah.
I'm not eating his flesh. I'm not drinking his blood. And if they'd have stuck around, he'd explain what that meant.
Yeah.
They took him literal and gross. This guy's talking cannibalism.
Yeah.
But they missed it. And but it's that. But that last split, what makes us more sensitive today is what we went through in those trials. Moses having a hard-headed people. When you read the story of Moses, I think there's times where God says, "Get out of the way, Moses. Move.
I'm
move.
done.
I'm done." He's got like a bolt of lightning. He says, "Stand aside, son. I'm going to fry them where they stand."
I'll give you a new people.
Yeah. The ones aren't so hard-headed, whatever. Yeah. And then Moses stands. It's not like God lost it. And but he's seeing Moses' heart.
Testing his heart, yeah.
Yeah, he's saying, Moses, wait a minute, God. If you wipe them out, then everybody's going to say you weren't able to get them to the other side. And you're not that kind of God. And God's like, you pass, Moses.
Yeah.
There's things that we go through that he knows. He's the Alpha and Omega, beginning. He knows the end. Our lives start at the end. He knows the end from the beginning. It's not like none of this is new to him.
Yep.
But God knew Abraham was going to stick that knife in Isaac's heart. He knew it.
Yeah.
Who didn't know it? Abraham.
Yeah.
It took him getting up there and pulling back
and thinking to himself, God, you're going to just resurrect him then because you promised me a son.
This son.
So it's not going to be, you know what I mean? Then he's just going to have to resurrect. But what you were saying is that fellowship, sometimes that fellowship is suffering. Yeah, sometimes you're on your own. It's not ideal, right?
Right.
Jesus, we were talking about this before. Jesus sent them out 2 by 2. Why? Because then when the town wouldn't receive them, there was another one there to witness to it, to encourage and say, keep on though. But he said this would happen. He said this would happen. So we got to keep pushing. We got to keep going on. I think one of the keys to getting through suffering is having somebody in that boat with you so you can say, that can encourage you, that can motivate you, that can, edify you.
Yes.
Because when you get in those moments of weakness where you're like, man, I just want to move away. You know what I mean? I want to start over.
It's covenant love.
Yeah.
You got to have that love that just says, man, he's promised you, bro.
That's right.
And I'm with you. I ain't going nowhere. I think when Jesus said that to the disciples, it was an opportunity for them to anchor him.
Yeah.
When you watch The Chosen, you can see lots of opportunities where that one time where he's coming back from praying for people all day.
Yeah.
He's so tired. He
can't even get his sandals off.
His mom helps to take his shoes off, and he goes, "I'm not. You want something to eat? No, I'm going to bed." He's just. I know how the anointing drains you. Last Friday, you went home, went straight to bed. I went home, went to bed. But when they said to him, "No, you have the words of eternal. Where can we go? You're the only one that has this." When that centurion said to him, when he saw, remember when he says, "You don't have to come to my house. You just speak the word."
Yeah.
I understand authority, and I know you have authority. You just speak the word, my servant may. You saw Jesus. They did that so well.
Yeah.
I hope people. When I watch it, I'm undone every time.
Yeah.
You can't watch The Chosen without crying. People go, you people that watch it and pick it apart and go, I don't think they kind of stretch the truth on that. It's like you're missing the point.
Yeah.
When that centurion said that, the look on Jesus' face was like,
Thank you, God. I needed an anchor.
I needed someone to really see and believe.
Yeah.
These guys are I'm doing it right in front of them, and they can't see it. This guy's he's not even saved.
Yeah.
He gets saved, but he wasn't at that. He's like, and he gets it. So, but I thank God that I have you. That I don't want to break down and cry on this episode, but the things that you've helped me get to the other side of stuff in life, and it's been if people don't have a covenant friend, they're missing out on one of the greatest joys of this side of heaven. it's going to be great on the other side, but on
Yeah.
this side, this is priceless. And for it to be your own son, oh my goodness, that's even a double whammy as far as a good thing. But I don't just see you as a son. I have a lot of respect for you, Kev. A lot of I thank God for this what He's done, because it's we we really meshed really well together, and I'm glad to see that my suffering, because you were been with me through a lot,
Yeah.
that it was not wasted,
No.
and that you've gleaned from it. Not that it hurt you to see me going through things. I know
Yeah.
it did, but at least you didn't waste the trial.
Yeah.
What's his name? Rick Joyner is always
Yeah.
saying that. He says, "Don't waste your trials. Don't waste trials, because they're precious." And when we go through trials, if you fail it, you're gonna have to take it again.
Yeah.
But you don't know when that's. We think, well, I'll just take it again, like in school.
Yeah.
No. If this grading quarter's over, I'm putting a grade on your report card.
And we're moving on.
We're moving on.
Yeah.
And if you want that grade to change, it's going to take a whole
Yeah.
nother quarter before that comes out. And that's just high school. That's just, sometimes these tests take years to come back around. But I'm so thankful to see that when I was going through stuff, you were going, in that story of Moses where his arms hanging down. I can't tell you how many times I felt your little hands holding mine up, and then it's like, oh man, and just just taking the Bayros, the overload, not just because you techie and you know things, which I'm very grateful for. If there are any preachers out there, you don't have some young people that understand tech and stuff, shame on you. Humble yourself. Get these guys working with you,
Yeah.
because they know how to reach this next generation. Well, I'm old school. Well, don't be proud of that. You know? Be old school when it comes to the gospel.
Yeah.
Where's the old past? Where's the good
Yep.
way? Walk. You'll find. Stay old school with the word, but some of the things that God's making available.
Yeah. If he's given tools.
Yeah, use them.
Yeah.
Use them. But it makes a man, and if there's guys out there watching that don't have a right hand of strength, that is so important.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like, because I know there's lots of preachers that they have a small congregation and they're on a set salary kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't get I got my wife and my kids or whatever. I don't really have or sometimes you have a board that's more work than they are help. But sometimes you feel like you don't have an armor bearer. You don't have somebody watching your backside.
Yeah.
The last few years I've seen God do more. I mean, literally more in the this month.
Yeah.
You know what day this month? Today's the 1st of April. Do you know
Yeah.
what day did you come on staff?
So April 17th. Yeah.
All right. We're 16 days away
Yeah.
from 3 years ago you coming on staff. We've reached more people,
Yeah.
and not just the numbers, the rest.
Yeah.
I feel so safe having someone watching my backside, because you can't see when because in ministry you're always in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
And Satan don't play fair. He's a thief. He comes in. He don't go through the gate.
No.
He climbs up another way. The Bible says
Yeah.
he does, because he's unlawful. He doesn't do it right. That's where the false brethren come in. That's where you get hurt by people that you're trying to help them, and then next thing you know, they've done something to hurt you or whatever. But two are better than one. They get more work done.
Yeah.
And we've got more work done. And I feel safe. I just want to say this to the guys out there that are winging it and doing it by themselves because they don't have, and that some of them are going, well, that's why you have a denomination. A denomination doesn't always cover like a person does, like someone that's in the boat with you. You know, I was raised Assemblies of God. Springfield, Illinois, Missouri is a long ways from where
Yeah. Meridian.
when you're going through the trials.
Yeah.
You need people that are in the boat with you. That when you're just wore out, you can't row another row. That they go, I got it. Yeah, sit back, rest.
Yeah.
And they pick up and they keep the boat moving. So people, suffering produces so much good. It tenderizes your heart. The reason I didn't quit, you got people that say, we got this. We're going to do this. We're going to get to the other side. They were wrong. What they said wasn't true. I'm here with you. Those are kind of words that just are priceless.
Yeah.
And woe to him who falls alone, it says.
Yeah.
You know,
For doesn't have anybody there to, and that's the thing. Now we get into. I love in October we always do like kind of an open mic for the congregation, and you get these people that get up and they're like, "Man, had you not stayed," I think back to that. Had you not stayed, and the thousands of people that you have ministered to over the last 36 years since all that craziness happened. 36 years of ministry, thousands of people I know there's probably people who are like, well, God would have found another way. Absolutely. But he didn't have to, because he called on someone who was faithful, who would stick it out, who would stay with it and be rewarded on the other side of it. Not with mansions and all this stuff, but with the walking with God. It's peace, you know what I mean? It's security. There's a confidence in this new season for you, that the ministry, it's like, it's no longer about making sure that I stir it up and really get it out there, that I just need to be there. I just need to line up with where he's at.
the faithfulness, that's the key. Yeah, I don't ever believe I'm Elijah, you know.
Yeah.
I'm your only one. We should learn from that story of Elijah that you never get there, because he said, I got 7,000, never even bowed a knee. They've never even bent over and said a prayer to Baal.
I don't think you're it.
You're not the only pure guy I can use. So, but it's that faithfulness.
Yeah.
And the thing about the fellowship, see, I'm in the boat with you too.
Yeah.
And when the enemy says, maybe I came on premature, maybe finance is getting a little tight, maybe last thing I want to do, Dad, is add sorrow to sorrow. So no. You have someone to say that to the other guy.
Yeah.
It's a two-way thing. And that's what keeps people moving forward. Woe to him who falls alone. Two are better than one, Ecclesiastes says. And if it gets cold, you can help body heat to keep each other warm. And you get more work done. But if he falls, you have the other one to pick him up. I feel like we pick each other up. We encourage each other. And that, to lighten the load, you know. And I really feel like we're talking to somebody out there that's going, gosh, they're talking to me, because I'm that guy. I'm the guy it's me and my wife. We're doing this thing. We've pioneered this work. We don't have a denominational covering. We don't have somebody, you know, we don't have partners and all this kind of stuff. We don't either.
No.
But I'm just saying, I feel like we're just, and this is not even coming out. You know, this is not live right now. This is recorded. But I really feel like the Lord's reaching out to some. What I love about Jesus, he'll go after that one guy. Maybe he's in Alabama, maybe he's in Arkansas,
and maybe he won't even watch this video for 2 or 3 months, 6 months. That's the thing that's amazing. It's like, we work with a God that time and space mean nothing to him. They are just, they're ingredients to things he makes, but he controls them.
That's the key to being faithful.
Yeah.
It's being recorded. It's going to go out there.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a word in season to somebody someday.
Yeah.
Maybe this week when it comes out, but maybe, like you said, months from now. Maybe somebody hears this, and links it and sends it to, hey, Pastor, I saw you going through it. I thought this might speak to you. I just want to say to people out there that go to a church, and if your pastor, if he seems to be under a heavy load, And you don't have to have a huge church for that to be affecting him.
Oh no,
You
smaller churches sometimes are more
oh yeah, because they got a pastor for everything in the mega
in the
church.
mega church. Yeah,
We got, what are you? I'm a pastor of janitorial.
yeah. I'm the grounds pastor, a real
yeah.
estate pastor. I'm the
Parking
inventory pastor, marketing.
Yeah, we got. But when it's you're the guy that wears all the hats. I'm the janitor.
Yeah.
I'm the dishwasher, pot cleaner. I'm
Yep.
the whole bit.
I'm a greeter. I'm a
Yeah, I'm the guy that goes to the hospital. I'm doing it all. But I feel like not only is God speaking to that pastor that's alone out there, I believe there's people in his church that are hearing that lie from the enemy. Who am I?
yeah.
He's the pastor. Man, we need friends. You are not just a fellow pastor in the church. We're friends.
Yeah.
We go on vacations together.
Yeah.
I enjoy your company. It's not like I would rather be somewhere. No, God will give you people like-minded.
Yeah.
That you will mesh together, and iron will sharpen iron, and you'll strengthen each other, and that's what we need more in the church. We need people that aren't embarrassed or ashamed or fearful to get in the boat.
Yeah.
And
Where's that boat going? Suffering.
yeah. Well, I'm with you. Wherever you're going, I'm going with. Well, there could be some suffering involved.
Yeah.
I remember when Paul he gets on this boat, and then he has a vision, and the Lord says, "Don't worry, everybody's going to make it, but the boat's going to have some It almost sank.
Yeah.
But he says, "Don't worry." God spoke to me in a dream last night and said, "Hey, we all make it." Sometimes that word, we all made it. Well, mostly. I don't think you made it, but no, but just we get to be that anchor for someone else. And see, suffering grooms you and prepares you where, like Paul, where he says, nothing moves me.
Yeah.
I've been bit by serpents. I've had my back laid open. I've been beat with rods.
Shipwrecked.
And he said, nothing moves me. Suffering, there's a place the Lord comes to you when you're going through suffering, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says there was a fourth man in the fire.
Yeah.
Whether it was an angel or Jesus, it don't matter. Somebody came down from heaven and said, "Hey, he's really proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all standing up right now. It's turning the heart of the king, and they're going to ask you to come out of here in a minute. And when they do, you're getting promoted." That always comes through. On the other side of, you don't go through suffering for a prize, but there is a prize that comes on the other side. And if it's not, and if sometimes it's not monetary, whatever. It's that thing that's worth more precious than gold. When the Bible says that wisdom is like fine rubies and more precious than, there are things in the spirit that only come from God.
Yeah.
And he only trusts them with people that aren't going to try to market it and get weird with it.
And you also get that I know in whom I have believed, and I am persuaded. And you and I have that saying, like, if you're not persuaded, you'll be persuaded otherwise. You got to get to a place where you are persuaded. And when you go through those sufferings and there's a fourth man in the fire, when you go through things and you realize I'm not alone through this, either God has given me somebody else to get in this boat with me, or Jesus himself is just walking me through this. As we're on this boat going through this storm, he said, I'm going to reach the other side. You're persuaded. That is a key to the kingdom. It's like, you want longevity. You want to be faithful. You want to finish the race, right? Fought the good fight. Finish the race. He that endures till the end, the same will be saved. Those are the things. If you want that, then go through the suffering. Get in the boat. Don't run from it. Don't complain while you're in the midst of it. Don't deny that you're in the midst of it either. Don't act like everything's okay and be honest and be like, no, I'm going through some suffering, but I know in whom I have believed. I know he said I'm going to get to the other side. And it's not a pit stop. It's not a detour. It's the road I'm on. It's necessary for what he wants to produce in me.
Romans 5 says, knowing that we glory in the glory of God. He says, knowing that we also glory in tribulations.
Yeah.
Knowing that tribulation works patience.
Yeah.
And patience, character.
Yeah.
And character, hope.
Yeah.
And it's a hope that doesn't disappoint. Not everything you get from God is academics. It doesn't always come in a book. It's not always in a prophetic word. Sometimes they're just walked out. And
Selah.
Selah. I
That's it.
feel like that we ain't got nothing else to say but that.
All right. Next time.
Next time.